Holly, serious for a moment here, which is, you know how people buy those little sort of tracking things they put into their bags and all the rest of it, right? Well, apparently there's some significant number, according to a survey out of New South Wales, where this stuff's being used to, frankly, track people, right, to go on to harass them, people who want to harass their partners. Now, okay, all of us think that's terrible. This technology's not going to disappear. So what are we supposed to do here? Because obviously we don't want to make it easier for creeps to go after people, but conversely, we can't pretend that things like GPS doesn't exist anymore.
No, and honestly, Paul, I wish I could sit here tonight and say, here's an answer for you.
Yeah,
because that
I'm
is
a big don't know.
absolutely horrific. It is absolutely horrific. And, the people like you, Stephen, and I sitting here, this is not something that will cross our minds of something to do. And I think it's really hard for people who don't act in these absolutely despicable ways to actually comprehend what would someone ever think that this is an appropriate way to behave. And the fact that they're putting air tags on their former partner's cars, and this is just, I wish I could sit here and say to you, we need to do this, or this is what needs to be done. But it is just abhorrent. And I think, the thing that upsets me when particularly murders of domestic violence happen, it's never, we didn't know about it. It's always known to police. And maybe this is where it needs to be, that when they have digital devices, any of those things, perhaps if they are known to police as a domestic violence offender, because obviously these things are tracked on mobile phones, that perhaps there is some sort of review of the devices they have. But honestly, I mean, it is just awful.
Well, it's the thing. When people use mobile phones to intimidate people, or telephonic devices, all the rest of it, this should become part of that offence, all right?
Absolutely.
All right. Last one here, and Stephen, because you are not a member of the Democratic or Republican Party, you are free to speak your actual heart. Do you think the debate will actually happen on Thursday? Because Bannon says don't do it.
Yeah, look, I think Trump has more to lose by pulling out. Trump needs to reach out beyond just his pure MAGA base. I mean, we saw in the last election 4 years ago, he got a record vote, but he still lost by a significant margin in the overall vote and in key states. And if you looked at that Fox News poll recently, it said that he's in the independents, which is probably the group he needs to split even, independents moving away from him. So I think he needs to try and be in the debate and try and win the debate or perform well in the debate so that he can cauterise a few of the independents and swing voters that have been moving away from him. So I think the risk for him to spit the dummy over a trivial argument that was had that was nothing to do with him directly would play a little worse for him than having a crack.
I completely agree. Guys, we're well and truly out of time, but that's probably the best show we've done this year or many years.